is Dorothy at Done by Dorothy, and we are here today for another DIY. I've had a couple requests for this, so I thought I would do this. And if you have something you're interested on how to make or you have questions about it, link it or post it in the comments, and I'll see what I can do for you. Just a little bit about me. I've been doing DIY type stuff for a while. My husband actually worked in he was in the corporate end of a company. And if, if you think about your car and you have your dashboards and you're like, if you have a red car, it has like that red dashboard or a gray or black. And if you're older, you remember when cars first came out, that the dashboards, the sun would hit them and stuff, and they were like the plastic, and you would see them crack. My husband was on one of the team that created the machine and the laboratory work and all that to keep that from doing that. So now your dash stays nice and it doesn't crack or anything. That's what he actually does. So he has a sort of a chemical engineering, electrical engineering background. So he helps me out with a lot of my DIYs, coming up with things that work and all of that. So today we are going to be making gloss Mod Podge. And Mod Podge, I know it's not spelled that way, but mine's Mod Podge. It makes it easier. So we're going to be working on that. And so let's get started. I try to do everything as cheap as possible, because if I'm going to spend money, I want to go buy good stuff. I don't want to spend money on basic supplies. So I do have a video for my Mod Podge, and I will make sure I put it in the card above, as well as in a link in the description box below, and you can follow that. But we are going to be sort of recreating that too, as well as making the gloss version. So supplies that you'll need today: you need some type of container. I actually found these at my Dollar General for $1 a piece, and they're nice. It's a nice amount. I think they're 4-ounce jars, so they work really well. You'll need white glue or school glue, craft glue, Elmer's, PVA, white glue. I wouldn't use like Aleene's tacky glue, but more of a white glue. I'm actually using art glitter glue today. It is what I have left in the bottom of my bottle, and for whatever reason, it's sort of thick. And since we are going to actually be adding things to it, I'm going to use it that way so I can sort of save what's left, and I'm not going to have any go to waste. So I'm going to drain it into my container, and I'm not measuring. You can measure, but yeah, this is in the bottom, and this bottle is close. Well, okay, I have several bottles, and for whatever reason, I didn't pay attention, and this bottle was almost used up. It was in the back of my shelf, and I've had it for 3 years, so it's sort of old. And apparently, as it's got older, it's sort of gotten thicker. So I figured I would use it for this. So I'm sorry you're sitting here looking at this. So yeah, you're going to put your glue in your jar. You can, if you're going to use like a regular bottle of school glue, depending on how much you need. If you use a lot of Mod Podge, make a lot. If you don't use a lot, you can still make a lot. It will keep, because we're going to take every effort we can to make sure that we don't get bacteria or anything like that. So like my jar, I've sprayed with alcohol inside my jar, and then used paper toweling and wiped it all out so it's completely dry, and then let it sit and air dry overnight, with the lid almost over it, just so it could air dry. So I ended up with, in my jar, I've got a little over a half an inch of glue, but I have a bunch, so that's fine. So whatever, you're going to add your glue, 2 parts to 1 part water. let's talk water, guys. Okay, we're going to be adding water to this. We don't want bacteria. We don't want mold to grow. You don't want bacteria to grow, anything like that. So I'm using purified bottled water. Everybody has bottled water just about anymore. Um, if you live in the country and you have well water, of course, you know there's bacteria and things like that in well water. Not that it hurts you when you drink it or anything like that, but it will grow mold when it sets at room temperature over a long period of time, which is what we don't want. So use bottled water. If you live in the city, same thing. You may have bacteria in your sink, in your faucet. You may have it in your pipes. The neighborhood may have it in the pipes. You don't know. Just go with it. If you do not have access to bottled water, because I know some people just don't have bottled water at home, um, take your water, put it on the stove, boil it, bring it to a boil, roll it at a boil, for several minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Pour it in a canning jar, whatever empty kind of jar you have. Let it set overnight and come to room temperature. Then you can use it. So you're going to mix 1 part water to 1 part glue. So like I have a 1/2 inch of glue, so I'm going to put basically 1/4 inch of water in. If you're measuring, like if you use a 1/2 a cup of white Elmer's glue or white glue, then you're going to use 1/4 cup of water. So that's just the easy way to do it. It makes it easier because everybody makes different amounts. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, then I've got a spoon, and I'm using a plastic spoon because I don't like reusing. And then you're going to stir and mix it up, and it's going to seem really weird for a little bit. And I'm going to grab my towel here. And I'm wiping my spoon off because I'm going to reuse my spoon here in a second. And I'm just going to put my lid on and shake it. So I stir it up a little bit, and then I put my lid on. I make sure I put it on tight, and then just sort of shake it because that's going to get all that stuff in the cracks and crevices that you can't get to. And then you want to check it, and you want this to go a little bit on the thick side. So I'm going to come back with my school glue. I have my glue in these bottles that I buy at the Dollar Tree. You get 2 of them for $1. And I put like my school glue and all of that type of glue. Mod Podge. I move my art glitter glue into these bottles because then I don't have to worry about a funnel. I can put this down in whatever jar, like even this lid will fit into my little Moshify bottle and refill it, and I can squeeze it, and it takes like 2 seconds to fill. Wipe this down a little bit. Okay. Always keep that whenever you're going to put your glue up. If you're holding it in a container, make sure you wipe it down because if not, you will glue your lid shut. Okay, now I'm going to shake it again. Make sure it's mixed real good. Yeah, see, that thickened me up some more. And you just want it to be as thick as you, depending on how thick you want it. I want mine to be sort of where I can brush it very easily. So I'm not actually putting any extra water in mine because I like it. And I mean, there's not an exact science, like I said. I start out with 2/3 to 1/3, and then if I decide I want to put a little extra and thicken it up, then I go for it. So it's just, but basically the rule of thumb, but I actually put a little bit more water than what I needed in there, I think. Okay. Oh, I should have showed this to you before I did this. Okay, I have this. I'll show you this can in a minute. It is Minwax water-based polyacrylic protective finish. Crystal clear finish, ultra fast drying, easy water cleanup, clear gloss. This is an 8-ounce can. I bought this at Walmart. It is $8. It is expensive. $8, but I'm only going to use 4 teaspoons in my, and there is a smell. It's not horrid, you guys. I don't really notice it a whole lot because I'm used to it, but there is a smell. And I'm going to put 4 teaspoons in here. This is what's going to give me my pretty shine. Now, or my glossiness. I'm actually putting a little bit more because I dumped that last spoon when I went to pull it out and spill it. Here's the difference. I could put this straight on anything. I can Mod Podge it and then just put a clear coat of this on top, because it's basically what this is a clear coat, a polyacrylic finish. And I could do that and it would work. The problem for me with that is the fact that I pay $8 for this can, okay? $8. That's a lot for me to spend on just not, because I do so much DIY. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. I probably should have muted my mic. I'm trying to close it enough that I can show you. Hopefully I got that in there. Oh, there it went. But for $8 for a small can, that's pricey if you're used to doing DIY. I spend that on, like lace and stuff like that, but not on my basic craft supplies. And certainly, you could buy expensive Mod Podge. We all know that. But yeah, so this is what this looks like. Let me try to get it out there where you can read it. This is what it looks like. It's $8. It's like $8.38 at my Walmart. It's an 8-ounce can. You can get bigger cans. I just get the 8-ounce because I've used this multiple times. You've seen what was in there. You're only using 4 teaspoons. Why go buy a bunch when you only need a little? Now, if you go through tons and tons and tons of Mod Podge and you want to make it like, by the half gallon at a time, go for it. I'm not. I do mine by can and jar at a time usually. Okay. And I'm going to stir that up and just get it off where it's not, get everything off of it. Let me wipe my spoon clean, because the last thing I want to do is lay it up somewhere and have it attached and glued and acrylic everywhere. And then I'm going to wipe the top of my jar again. But this is going to give you that really nice shine. So I don't want to just shine up my page, using my brush and brushing that straight on top, which you can do in a rush if you don't want to mix anything up. I don't want to pay that amount for that because you go through it too fast that way. So again, I'm shaking up my bottle. I'm going to get that off so I don't make anybody sick. Okay, and let me grab my brush, or a brush anyway. Okay, so I've shook it up pretty good. And before it hardens up, when I open my jar, I automatically go ahead and wipe my lid, because I do not want that to stick or dry on there because it starts getting yucky. So, okay. So I'm going to use this for an example. Here is the book page, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, and all I've done is I've ripped this page in half so we can compare and contrast. So that's what it looks like. So I'm going to grab some of my gloss Mod Podge here in my brush, and I'm going to brush it on. Just like we do everything. No big deal. Of course, these are printed on inkjet printer, so there may be a little bit of a color change, but it should go through perfectly. Okay. I'm going to set this to the side. I will be coming out with another, and my Mod Podge that I make isn't the only thing that I use the Minwax polyacrylic with. So I will be coming out with another version. I'm trying to get this to dry real fast. I probably should have got my, let me grab my dry it done real fast. Hold on, I gotta grab my cord and plug it in. Give me a second. Okay. Me. And I'm sorry if that's noisy. Didn't take long. Okay, so here is our mat. This is what it looked like before. Just the plain. Okay. Here is the gloss. Can you see the shimmer on there? Hopefully you can see that shimmer. Now, let me move some of this stuff out of the way here because I got stuff piled up everywhere. Let me get it out of here, and I will grab my regular, put that brush over there so it doesn't get mixed up, my regular Mod Podge, which I've got in my bottle. Again, 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and then that way I can throw my Mod Podge on right like that. Makes it so much easier. And I'm going to just brush it on with my brush real fast. And this is the matte Mod Podge. Let me grab my gun real fast. So we do have a couple other DIYs that'll be coming out soon. So yeah, stay posted for that. This is taking a lot longer to dry than the other. So it is a lot more matte, if you can see that. Well, the camera sort of reflects a lot of it versus, I mean, the camera's giving off some shimmer anyway, but because it's glue. But there's a lot more brightness. If you can see there where this one has some, but it's not near as thick glimmer. So yeah, definitely. And you know, if it's not shiny enough for you and you want to make it shinier, add more, because I ended up adding more glue, so I probably should have added more. So yeah, if you want to make it more shinier, then, you know, feel free to add some more. Like I said, if you figure you have $8 in this, I buy the cheap school glue when school supplies go on sale. You know, I'll go buy like 12 bottles. I mean, or whatever, you know, when they're like 50 cents a bottle. You know, so you've got $6 in that, and $8 in that. So you have like $14 because your water is not, I don't really count. You have $14, and you can make quart after quart after quart of Mod Podge. Now I like the matte Mod Podge. That's my choice. What I really like. That's the kind that I like. So, yep. So thanks for tuning in today for this DIY. You know, try it out. Let me know what you think. I hope you like the gloss Mod Podge. And again, you know, if you put 4 in there, it's not shiny enough for you, add a little bit more, because you may have to play with it depending on how much glue that you use. Normally, to a school bottle, I would do a school bottle of glue then half that amount of water, depending on how big your jar is. You can go by that. If you get like an 8, the regular bottles of glue, I think are 12 ounces, 8 ounces or 12 ounces. I don't have one here because I'm out right now, but go by that and figure, half of that. If it's 8 ounces, then you need 4 ounces of water with it, and then 4 teaspoons of this. So, if you, depending on how much you use, more or less to work it out. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, try it out. Leave in the comments. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you again for our next DIY. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now. So with our Mod Podge, we can do several other things. And I thought I would share those with you. First of all, if you make paper beads, the Gloss Mod Podge is excellent for giving that lovely shimmer and shine. But once again, you can also add glitter. And I've added some green gold glitter. This actually happens to be from Walmart. It's like $2. It's extra fine glitter and emerald. It's solid, 2.5 ounces. And in my jar here, and I've got this big jar like here, I've added 5 teaspoons. You don't have to do as much if you don't. You just you have to sort of play with that to decide how much glitter you want, to go down when you Mod Podge. But yeah, you just brush it on just like you do Mod Podge. Now, obviously, if you're wanting your image to be seen, then you don't want to, use this unless you use a clear. Then you'll get that glittery effect without, and still be able to see your image below. Of course, with this being solid, it is in a cover. So I just brushed it on like you do normal Mod Podge. And this is what I resulted with. So hopefully, I'm going to try to get it up here so you can see. Hopefully you can see the green and the gold. Just trying to get it. There you can see the individual glitter pieces when I move it, the green and the gold. Yeah, so I mean, if you want that, and as you can see, I have no glitter on my hands. And you guys know glitter stuff. There's like 1 or 2 little sparkles and that's it. So it adheres it down too. So if you want to add glitter, but you don't want it to do that, where it, well, that's from the glue, but where you don't want it to be everywhere, it's the perfect way to do it. So I thought I would share that too, just as a little glip on there. So hopefully, you'll enjoy the Gloss Mod Podge. Have a great day. And remember, you can use it when you make your paper beads. You just are going to cover it just like you do with your glue or your Mod Podge. You can use the glitter on it to make them glittery, or you can use the clear, with just the plain Mod Podge, and it does a very nice clear shiny coat on them. If you paint them or whatever, or even if you use book page or scrapbook paper or whatever, and gives it that really pretty beady shine, that almost glassy shine to it. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back again with another DIY in a while. Thanks. Bye.